Two Justice League books, one from DC and one from Marvel? Kinda. We're keeping up with the comics. Let's go. Welcome back to the Flash by Night channel. I am TJ, aka Flash by Night, and we are here to keep up with the comics. And the first book we are keeping up with today is Heroes Reborn, #2 by Marvel, or from Marvel, by Jason Aaron. So Heroes Reborn is basically an event whereby there are no Avengers. The Avengers were never formed. We never got them. And so Earth's mightiest heroes are now the Squadron Supreme, or Marvel's basically comparison to the Justice League, which, let me tell you, I've never read a Squadron Supreme book. So it's pretty funny that as you read this, they really lean in to the whole Marvel's Justice League thing. I don't know if every other writer has leaned in that hard to it, but Jason Aaron makes sure that you compare Hyperion to Superman. Make sure that you compare Nighthawk to Batman, and make sure you compare Power Princess to Wonder Woman. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's always been the case, but it is certainly the case here. But as we get into the book, we open up with Galactus basically years ago landing on Earth, basically in an attempt to consume the Earth and its inhabitants, which kind of makes me ask questions to start off with, which is why like, how far are these years ago? How far back does this event go? I think the book does give you the answers to that, at least far back enough. They give you the answers to that, but it does kind of beg the question: how serious is this suction from not having the Avengers? Anyway, but we come to present day, and we find out that this is kind of a Hyperion-centric story. And I did not know Hyperion was actually a history teacher of sorts. That's one thing I learned about from this book. And in this book, he basically gets a call from Reed Richards and a depowered Ben Grimm, telling Hyperion that basically when he opened the negative zone to put the last villain in there, who is Dr. Juggernaut, this Dr. Doom Juggernaut amalgam that formed in Heroes Reborn. Some other not nice types may have escaped the negative zone because they've been using the negative zone as a prison. But Reed's been telling him that it's unstable, is not supposed to have to hold that many people and that much power. But Hyperion tells him to just do it, because while he's a Superman allegory, he is not Superman himself. He doesn't have the Clark Kent humility to go along with the power. But so you have Hyperion basically taking on all kinds of challengers that come from the negative zone, and he ends up also facing Ultron. And I'm not going to give too many of those things away, but he ends up facing one more person, or one more escapee from the negative zone, the biggest, baddest escapee. I won't tell you who it is, but you can probably guess. And it ends really weird. I didn't see that ending coming to that confrontation, but basically, yeah, the day is kind of saved on his end, and he goes back to teaching. And also, look at him being in the sun. kind of recharging. Like I said, they are really leaning into this whole Hyperion is Marvel's Superman thing hard. But as we kind of pick up on the second part of the story, or the second part of this issue, you have Hyperion teaching his class, and a certain demigod who didn't know his identity at first kind of shows up outside of the class, and he's kind of regaining, and I'm talking about Thor, he's kind of regaining some of his memory and realizing, like Blade does already, that the world is not what it seems like it should be. Things may be wrong around here. And yeah, so he figures that out, and we actually don't get much of Blade in this book. I like what we got of Blade, and I won't go into it, but we don't get much of it. The book was pretty much keeping up with Hyperion, and I think the next issue is going to do the same thing with a squadron member named Blur. I'm not sure exactly how much of the book they'll spend on him, but I believe they're letting us get to know the Squadron Supreme in as much as we're getting to know this new world and getting ready for whatever confrontation that may take place to get our world back on track where it is. But Heroes Reborn #2, I think I liked issue #1 a little bit more because it was more about the world and less focused on one character. Even though I didn't mind the focus on Hyperion, this didn't move the story forward as far as I thought it would. But I still enjoyed the book. I'm still in for Reborn. I'm still amassing my Reborn army. Let me know if you want to join. I'm always looking for the recruits. But Reborn #2 was okay. And so we'll see what #3 has in store. So the next book we're going to keep up with is Justice League Last Ride #1, written by Chip Zdarsky. And this book is interesting for a few reasons to me. First of all, being that it kind of lends another hint at what I think DC is doing, which is opening the door for us to advance to at least one or two of the potential future state futures that DC presented us with a few months back. If you read Justice League, the Future State Justice League book, you know that the original Justice League broke up for some reason because they trusted someone they shouldn't have trusted, and things broke down in the league, and so the world needed a new league, and that's where we got the Future State Justice League team. And so I'm wondering if this book is sort of hinting at or pointing at the actual Justice League that broke up to bring in the Future State Justice League team. That being said, we start out this book with Superman working extra hard, having to save a whole bunch of people. And you're used to Superman coming to save the day. You're used to him being heroic. But what we don't often see is Lois Lane being concerned with Superman working that hard and being concerned because Superman is out there doing things all by himself. That's not a thing I'm used to. At least I'm used to hearing. And it may be a thing, but it's not something I'm used to. So what we find out is that the reason why this is called The Last Ride is that this book is kind of like if you ever watched Bad Boys for Life, where, they're not together, but they decide that they have to get together this one last time. Yeah. So we open this book up, and the Justice League is already broken up for some reason. And they're being called back to the Watchtower for a particular mission. Nobody knows what the mission is when they get there, and everybody kind of arrives separately. But when they arrive, they find out that they have been called there because they need to protect a criminal. The United Planets, which is an invention from the Superman book written by Bendis. The United Planets wants to put a certain criminal on trial, and one of the Green Lantern members basically wants the Justice League to protect this criminal so that he can go on trial for a whole lot of horrific crimes, but this latest one being considered the worst. And the Justice League has to hash things out and decide whether they're going to do it. If you had to guess, you're probably right if you guessed that Superman and Batman are at odds, because Batman is not down for it. Superman's like, yeah, let's go for it. Wonder Woman has to break up their stare down, and yeah, it's a whole mess. The Justice League is not on the same page, and eventually Batman ends up leaving, getting Ghost. I've got things to do in Gotham, but when he gets back to Gotham, of course Clark goes to find them, and there's a confrontation between the two over what really may have fractured the Justice League. I won't say what that is, but I can see how the Justice League got fractured if whatever they discussed really happened. But eventually Batman kind of caves a little bit, and we find out exactly how far the last ride is going to take us. So yeah, that was kind of my wrap up of Justice League Last Ride #1. It's kind of a good intro story to whatever is going to happen in this book. It was really interesting to me. I kind of dig on things like this on peril and on really bad hardships. A lot of people want, things to be all bright in nature and everything. Bring me on the conflict. Let me see what can go wrong and see if it will go wrong and see if the heroes can fix it. And this, I don't know if it can be fixed. I'm pretty sure whatever the crack is only going to get worse in this book. I told you where I think it's going to go, but we'll see. It may turn around and I may be completely fooled, but I think this may actually be the Justice League's last ride. So you guys tell me what you think. Give me some ideas. Am I on the right path? Did I get it wrong? Am I too doom and gloom? Let me know. So that was Keeping Up with the Comics. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you liked. I hope you saw a book that you might actually get into. That's really the purpose of this kind of review and wrap up, is to draw interest towards a few books I like. But if you enjoyed yourself, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with me, Keeping Up with the Comics, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, do all the good YouTube things. You probably know better than I do. And of course, whatever you want to tell me, whatever you want to tell the world, whatever opinions you have, questions you have, leave them in the comments. That's always encouraged, and I always try to get back. But as I always say, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.